ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking back hits. Subscribe.
Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Marvel Legends action figure review on the Marvel Legends Wave 3 Avengers Endgame Bro Thor Build-A-Figure Waves Mark 85 Iron Man. Try to pick up the set, you can do so.
Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
I gotta give a big thanks to XManny87 for giving me a heads up on this wave. I did pay a bit extra to get this from an international seller, and I'm lucky to have this wave a little bit early to review for you guys. XManny87 does as well, so check out his YouTube channel, link in the description below. And you can see that we get some nice packaging over here. I like how it says Avengers Endgame. It says Iron Man Mark LXXXV. It's 85. Anyway, on the side right there, you can see Iron Man. And then on the back, you can see there's a read-up over here. If you want to read it, go ahead and pause it right now. There's the other figures from the wave. We get Iron Man again in a spot-varnished A for Avengers Endgame, and then not much more at the bottom, so let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's the Mark 85 Iron Man figure out of the packaging, and wow, what an interesting figure. There's a lot going on here that makes me very happy, and at first there are some things about the figure that were kind of making me upset, so I had a little bit of a roller coaster ride with this piece, but overall, man, I'm really liking what I'm seeing over here, and we get some very cool accessories with this guy. So let's get a closer look at those, and then we'll take a closer look at Iron Man. So we get the Bro Thor Build-A-Figure parts with this figure, and then we get all these accessories right here for the Mark 85 Iron Man, and I'm very happy to see that we get 4 effects pieces right here instead of just 2. I've griped about that many times, so yeah, I'm very pleased to see these. You know, we've seen the sculpt for these so many times, but I like how this has a little bit of this frosty blue look to them, so that's pretty sweet. We get 2 sets of hands. We get fisted hands and repulsor blasting hands. They both look really good, and we get a hinge on the repulsor blasting hands, which I'm really happy to see. A little gripe I have though is that these effect pieces don't port in all the way. There's a little bit of garbage right there, so that does bother me some, but it's not the worst gripe in the world, but it is a little irritating from certain angles. And then we get the Nano Gauntlet, which looks awesome. I'm really happy that we have this. Now it does come in 2 parts right here, and it is meant for the Endgame Hulk Build-A-Figure. A little unfortunate that he didn't look, you know, all green when we see him wear this in the movie, but still that you can, you know, utilize it, and I'll show it off on the figure in just a second, but I just want to take a look at the stones. I gotta say the sculpt and paint detail on this looks fantastic. I really like it a lot, man. Each stone is painted very well, so I'm really pleased with that. Nice details here. Really like how the gold came out. The color choice of red looks really good. Then looking at the wrist portion or the forearm portion of it, looks pretty nice as well. So let's go ahead and grab the Hulk. I already took off his right fist, so you can see this is all ready to go. And it just ports onto that like a sleeve, and then you could just port this fist right in there, and boom, there you go. So that's pretty cool looking. It fits right on there, so I like that very much. One thing that I was thinking about though, this could be next level if you could put it on the Build-A-Figure Thanos, and you can. It's just a little tricky to do. Now this peg will go into this wrist right over here, and I guess the easiest way to do this is if you wanted to remove this whole flap piece, which I'm not going to do to my figure. I'm not going to rip this off, but if you were desperate enough, you could do that. But I figured out a way to kind of get this on here without doing that, so you could kind of just like shove that on in there, and then you want to take these little 2 silver pieces and tuck that underneath this part right here, and it's not going to peg into his hand, it's just barely going to fit there. But if you wanted to take some pictures, you can do that, and it actually looks pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that, you know, just for taking a couple of pics. You don't want to leave it like that for too long. You may warp things, and looking on the back of it, of course, doesn't really look right. I almost forgot to mention that a really cool feature about this figure is if you have the Mark 50 Nano parts, Marvel Legends 2-pack with the Iron Spider, you can go ahead and add those right here. The red almost matches perfectly. It's just ever so slightly different, but it's almost exactly the same. It's kind of tricky to do, and it's going to tilt up a little bit, but if you wanted to get this going, I remember seeing him use this against Call Obsidian, so I thought that was pretty awesome. So yeah, this is pretty dope that this will work on this Mark 85 Iron Man as well. I love this. Now I gotta say, for the most part, I am very pleased with the paint and the aesthetics of this figure. There's just little things here and there that do bother me. For instance, I would have liked to see some of the blue in the eyes, kind of like how we'd seen on the Mark 45 right over here, or Mark 45, the Mark 50, so that would have been kind of neat to see, even though this kind of bled out of the eye sockets. That bothers me. But anyway, look on the side, you get some nice gunmetal gray. I do like that, so that's pretty sweet, and I just love how the red came out on this figure. I really like this dark colored red, nice bright gold. A little bit of a bummer though, or it's kind of a big bummer, is for the first time, and I don't know for whenever, is that we get a different neck peg for the figure. Oh God, Hasbro, you make me so sad. So no, I can't put my Robert Downey Jr. head on there. That's such a big time bummer, man. Jeez, I don't know why they did this. The other thing about having the ball peg is that it allows for some shifting back and forth. I'll get into that articulation more in a minute, but yeah, you don't get that forward and back shifting thing, which helps with making the figure look upwards. So yeah, that bothers me. This doesn't look good. I mean, that's just not looking right to me. Maybe they needed to add more white paint to it, but I would have preferred blue, and it looks like it has these tiny little lines in it right there. A little bit of scuffage. I did not break my figure. It came like that. So that's irksome. So I wish they added the blue here and the blue in the eyes. But other than that, I think it looks great. I just wanted to get my gripes out of the way. Those are my biggest gripes. You get a little tiny little scratch, little lines right there that, I just noticed this for the first time right now. This side actually looks a whole lot better. But I really like the silver and the gunmetal gray throughout on this guy. It looks sick. I'm really happy with how the ribs came out over here. The paint looks really good. On the back, that looks pretty good too. And you can see that gold came out really clean. A lot of paint on the back of the figure, which makes me happy. It's the thing I've complained about in the past, so I'm happy to see a bunch of paint right over here. The legs look pretty neat. I do like this. Looking pretty good. I like that. A little clumpy right there, but you're going to find tiny little things here and there, but for the most part, once again, I really like how this figure looks, man. Oh man, I am so happy with the articulation on this figure, I guess aside from the head joint, which is actually not the worst thing in the world. So he'll look up just that much, and then he can move his head downward that far. You get side-to-side motion, and no real head tilting at all. We would have got that if that was a ball peg instead. Shoulders can move outward very far upwards, and you can move them down and rotate a full 360. What's great is if you put the arms forward, you could bend them in so you don't get a butterfly joint, but it kind of feels like you kind of do a little bit because they have enough space right over here in the armpits, so you can really move his arms forward. I like that a lot, or inward anyway. You get a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. One problem I had, I think it was the right side, I felt like I could not straighten out his elbow. I thought it was stuck like that, but if you just get that gold part to dig underneath the forearm, you could see that piece is coming over the gold section, then he'll straighten out his arm, so I think that's great. All four hands turn side to side and hinge up and down. Get ab crunch forward just a little bit, a lot more backward, which helps with the flying poses. You get a diaphragm swivel, diaphragm pivot. Legs move outward that far, and he can kick forward only that much due to this piece right over here running into the hip, so that's frustrating. But if you turn this just a little bit more outward, you can get the leg moving forward a bit more, and it's going to look weird right there, but we get a thigh swivel, so that helps, and then he'll not move his leg back at all in any kind of way. He has double jointed knees. You can see a slight difference in the paint color right here with the red. A little irksome, but not that bad. But double jointed knees. Then the ankles move down, and they will move up. At first, I thought they couldn't move up. You just have to really shove that in there, and then you can move the ankle up. And of course, he has beautiful ankle pivot. Now it is worth mentioning that it is tricky to try to get the arms squeezed all the way in right over here. But measuring out this Mark 85 Iron Man, you can see that he's standing just a little over 6.5 inches tall. And then here's our Mark 85 next to the Mark 50 that came with the Iron Spider in the 2-pack. And I do like how the reds match over here. It does look a whole lot better on this one. I don't get any marbling or anything like that on the chest like how I do with this one right over here. And then here's our Marvel Legends Mark 85 next to the SH Figuarts Mark 85. And of course, between these two, yeah, the SH Figuarts just looks better. But I gotta say, for a Marvel Legend, this is really good. I'm really happy with this. If I wasn't such a huge fan of this armor and I had missed out on the original release of this figure and I didn't pay aftermarket prices, I probably would have skipped out on this and just waited for the Marvel Legend over here because it's really good, man. I really do like it a lot. But of course, it's still missing the blue. You can see we get the blue right here and there. We don't have the blue right there and there, so it still bothers me. And then here's the Mark 85 next to the 80 Years Classic Iron Man, and you can see where the inspiration from this suit came from this Iron Man right over here. I still need to do a video tutorial on how to switch things around. I learned that from Robo Credit. And of course, I gotta show off the Mark 85 5 next to the rescue armor right over here, and yeah, these two look really cool side by side. I really liked taking pictures of these two together. And then for sentimental reasons, I wanted to show off the Mark 85 next to the Iron Spider from the 2-pack. Still really sad that I can't get a Robert Downey Jr. head on there, it bothers me. And then here's Mark 85 Iron Man, and amongst our big 4 Avengers characters, we have the Hulk-worthy Cap and Infinity War Thor. The Cap is still a bit on the short side. I wish he wasn't as short as he is, and I just wanted to see how this Hulk right here with the Infinity Gauntlet or the Nano Gauntlet looked next to Iron Man. I haven't actually tried putting this on the Iron Man figure yet. And no, yeah, that won't fit at all. And then here's our Mark 85 Iron Man next to the Build-A-Figure Armored Thanos. I really wish Hasbro would have included a new left arm for this Thanos figure. Just irks me that he has an Infinity Gauntlet that he never wore in the Endgame movie. And then here's the Mark 85 Iron Man next to your average 6-inch scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. Oh, I'm gonna miss you, Iron Man. Hey, but you know what they say, all good things must come to an end, huh? Oh, hey, Hulk. Whoa! What? Oh my goodness, I looked so different with that. Oh, man. I'll miss you, 3000. So I know the figure doesn't come with that nanotech on his left hand, but I still really like adding it on there. It just looks so cool, and I love that you can add these effects pieces to this figure. I had a lot of fun with this piece, man. I really like it a lot. I didn't think it was going to be bad or anything. I just didn't think I was going to like it as much as I do. So I do have my little gripes about it. The things I mentioned, yeah, they bug me a little bit, but I gotta say, at the price point of 20 to 25 bucks, I'm giving this Iron Man figure a sud rating of
I love it!
And I'd like to know what you guys think, so please let me know in the comment section below. And don't forget to hit the like button if you liked this video, hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell if you have not already, and a big thanks to all these people over here that support this YouTube channel over on Patreon. I just posted a giveaway announcement yesterday, and I have a whole bunch more announcements to come, so stay tuned for that. If you're interested, check the link below. If you want to see the latest in Marvel news, be sure to check out marvelousnews.com, and be sure to follow me over on the social media on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace!
I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures every day. I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, it's okay.
That's crispy.
Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.
Your face is my shot.